Get this figure and more at the Big Bad Toy Store. Links in the description.
Hey, my name is Jobby, and what is happening now? Even more change? Well, before you lose your head over it, let me show you a little magic trick. That's right, guys, dual camera setup. So whenever I introduce these videos, I could be right here waiting for you. When we're talking about the figure, bam, here we are. And we're gonna talk about the Soul of Chogokin GX77 Gipsy Danger from Pacific Rim. Of course, I already did a video of this figure before, but that was just me unboxing the figure, so if you want to check that out, you check that out. Usually I would talk about the franchise that this thing comes from, but at this point you kind of know my thoughts about Pacific Rim already. Also, worth mentioning, at the time of this recording, I still have not watched Pacific Rim 2. Zero tolerance on spoilers in the comments. I don't really care at this point. So anyway, let's stop beating around the bush. Oh. Right away, I'm noticing that the figure looks fantastic. Bandai really brought their A-game to this figure. It's got this really nice metallic finish all throughout, and to keep the paint job from looking too plain, there are bits of detail that just they pop. And even some smaller details from the film are captured here, such as the little logo on the chest. I think that's a kaiju kill count, I could be wrong. And a really nice 34 here. And you can see the 34 has this nice scratched up paint job to kind of give it that weathered look. And check out this little feature. Moving mechanics. And you get a little bit of that action on the chest. The more you rotate it, the faster it goes, so it's kind of funny. Same thing for the other. Oh, what a perfect opportunity to talk about some of the problems. You could make the argument that yes, it was intended to be removable, that's why it's so easy to remove, but you don't understand. The other arm, nothing like that at all. It is easily removable, but when you go to put it back in, it actually snaps in. I hope to Jeebus that this is just my figure, an isolated incident. Other issues is, oh, would you look at that? It's just gone. Here it is. So out of the box, as you can see in my unboxing video, these back armor parts come with the figure detached, and unfortunately, they come off too damn easily. Oh, there we go. And just like the arm problem, that issue seems to be isolated to one side. This part comes off way easier than... Oh, they come off equally easy. Fuck's sake. Now I gotta go pick that up. So basically, those parts, they stink. However, the rest of the figure, being mostly made of die-cast metal, feels... And of course, that grants the figure a really nice heft. Where can I go from here? God fucking damn. So, as if it's a sign from heaven itself, my second camera just up and died. Or rather, it ran out of storage space because it's a little pussy-ass bitch. So it appears that we're back to our normal setup. Everybody have a good old clap. Yay! I hate change. The review must go on. Not the best person to quote in a situation like this, so we're just gonna open up that... The figure requires 3 LR41 batteries, and that is to activate... Mamma mia. These lighter features are never gonna look as impressive as they do in real life because the camera that I'm using it's just an iPhone. But we can rectify that. And the center part here, if we just push that, you get a little light show. And it goes nuclear. Oh, that changed the blue is, it's something else. I just want to show you how it beautifully fades in when you flip that switch. Wow. And the head is still completely movable despite there being some lighter features in there. I don't know why the fuck did I just do that? Oh, there it is. That's the actual light. That goes back easy, right? Yeah. And if you leave that light on long enough, it just switches off. But we're not going to wait that long, so we're just going to switch it off manually. Getting the back cover is not the most pleasant experience. Oh, man, I hate that. But you can be assured that it is on there pretty solidly. The first Soul of Chogokin figure that I am completely comfortable doing that with. And it's not like it has trouble standing up. The big flat feet make sure of that. But just in case you do get tired of posing this gal, you get an included base. And that just cradles the tank really nicely. It makes for a great display piece despite the base looking kind of plain, but the font on the front is pretty cool. Of course, that's not the only accessory you get with this set. A pair of open hands and a pair of grabby hands. And not only do the grabby hands work to get that famous... that one pose, you know what I'm talking about. They're also there for the express purpose of grabbing this included ship, which in itself has an impressive amount of detail, but it does feel a lot lighter and cheaper than it looks. That's not a negative though, because this thing is actually supposed to be wielded by Gipsy Danger as a weapon, of course simulating that Otachi battle from the film, which was one of the highlights of the movie. As you can see, this end of the ship has some crunching detail, which is beautifully sculpted, and that is supposed to fit perfectly in... Oh, there we go. Look at that. Nice and snug. So if we were to... It doesn't work. No matter how hard I try. You keep pushing me aside and I can't break through. Okay. I mean, I do appreciate how the details accommodate both of the hands. Thumb in there. Fingers in there. It's such a great idea. The best you're gonna get with the cruise ship is Gipsy Danger dragging it across the floor. But if you're trying to get it to wield it like a bat, you just give up all hope. An accessory that works 100 times better are the various swords that you get. This one is supposed to be a chain whip instead of a chain sword, but it really only appears when the sword is in the process of being solidified. Would have been kind of cool if it was articulated. And to get the swords in there, these 4 arm panels can open, revealing even more mechanical detail. This part can open as well, and there is a little hole there which you could just... It looks really damn good. Strangely enough, these swords are not made out of die-cast metal, however they are... And for the final pair of accessories, beautiful looking arm cannons. And you notice where I'm grabbing them? Well, I really have no choice, because if you handle them anywhere else... Fuck. In terms of stability, these are kind of a disaster. Well, this part is meant to be removable to access the battery cover, and the battery cover is just gone. There it is. The battery cover does not even want to snap in, and the other part that fell off earlier, it's not meant to have popped off. This is literally broken. I should really super glue that. Oh, these things are the reason why these arms pop off so easily. Slide that in there. This side can eat a dick. It's a great look, and the arm cannons themselves are detailed to shit. Part of me wishes that they were actually transformable, but it seems that the transformation in the movie is kind of bullshit. Now, the reason why these things have batteries is if you come to the elbow here, there's this little tab. You pull on it. Nice. It's legitimately impressive, but because of all the damn fiddly bits on the... I tend to not use them a lot. Worth noting that the arm cannons do have an elbow joint attached to them, just like the normal arms have an elbow joint attached to them. Of course, that isn't the only point of articulation, and the painting and the sculpting on this figure is amazing. I actually forgot to say that. Swivel at the head. It can look up pretty far, and down not at all. You also get some side to side, and the swivel is actually fairly limited. Rotation at the shoulder. Shoulder pad gets in the way of doing a full 360. Shoulder pad can move out, which allows for the arm to move out, and the range is not that great. This part... a little too loose. Swivel at the bicep, bend at the elbow. These arm panels do get in the way of doing a full bend, but of course they can move out of the way, and that allows for a full double bend, of course, until it pops off. Ball joint at the wrist has a hinge joint which allows it... oh, fuck. Just hit the camera with my hand. Allows it to move up and down. All of the included hands comes with a hinge joint of its own. Up and down at the chest, as you can see, that part moves. Ball joint at the waist, which has a really nice side to side movement, but the up and down, forget about it, that's mostly in the chest. But that ball joint does have a limited rotation. You can do a nice kick. The joints at the hips are nice and tight. I appreciate that very much, and the legs can move not too far back. As for the spread, it's pretty. It's a pretty spread. Limited thigh swivel, double bend at the knee. Knee pad here can move independently, strangely enough. One of these, up and down. Beautiful pivot. A toe bend, and a final toe bend at the tip of that toe bend, which is kind of pointless, but I guess I appreciate it. And before I forget, these back armor parts can actually move as well. There is a rotation here. Of course, these are on ball joints, even though I really would have preferred if they just stayed put. And the wings can flap. Posability here is pretty consistent with most Soul of Chogokin figures, which is to say,
It's alright.
but you get enough. Maybe it's too much to ask for to have a big and super posable figure. And man oh man, is this thing pretty big. And here she is with Madoka Godzilla Prime, the Soul of Chogokin Megazord, the Soul of Chogokin Gaogai Gar, and the Mecha Godzilla 2014. Ooh! These are basically in scale, right?
But Jabby, why don't you compare it to the other Pacific Rim figures?
Yeah, okay, here's some kaiju. And the NECA Antifa-verse Gypsy Danger. I think I mentioned it before, but the NECA Gypsy Danger that I reviewed, it wasn't mine. And the articulation on that NECA Gypsy Danger was pretty damn good. And what I can say about the Soul of Chogokin Gypsy Danger is that if the articulation here was more in line with the NECA figure, but it still retained its size and its beautiful looks, this thing would have been triple kiss worthy. But as it stands with its limited articulation and the goddamn fiddly bits, I still feel comfortable at least giving this figure. As a display piece, this figure is undeniably beautiful, and for fans of Pacific Rim such as myself, this is a visual treat. And if you wanted one for yourself, why don't you get one of them? Wow, really? Okay, despite a bit of a messy start, I'm sure some of you liked the video, right? Give me a like to signal that you're still with me? And leave a comment, why the hell not? I'm not gonna stop you, I'm just not gonna read it.